Welcome back to Movies TV Man. I am Mick, your host with the most. Ask your girlfriends, wives, and especially your boyfriends and your husbands. A very warm welcome to Tuesday's edition of the DCU Daily. You can follow me on X, Twitter at Movies TV Man, and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Man X, on Snapchat BMouth60, on TikTok Mad Mickey's World. So welcome. I've been gone for a couple of days because I went away. I took a break here in Anapa Cyprus, stayed in a hotel with my girlfriend, had a lot of fun, you know what I mean. Sorry, honey, but there's no other way to explain what we did. But I am back, and I'm very, very glad to do so. There was never a reality where Superman was going to beat Man of Steel or Batman vs. Superman at the global box office. The only way I can describe James Gunn's Superman is a parody movie. Do you remember Naked Gun, Spaceballs, Police Academy? Basically, that type of movie. But basically, it's not supposed to be a fucking parody movie. It's a parody of the modern day MCU comic book movie formula. And James Gunn has become a parody of the modern day director. James Gunn has become a parody of himself. This isn't even the James Gunn that did the Guardians trilogy, that even did Suicide Squad or Peacemaker. I love all of that shit. Now, it's not fucking Apocalypse Now, but it was good. It was good shit. Superman isn't good shit. It's just shit. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. In no other decade, in no other century of entertainment, would you have these parody fans on social media mocking Snyder and his movies? Now, listen, I don't really care about Snyder's other movies. I like 300, I love Watchmen. I'm okay on the other stuff, but I don't really care about that. I'm not all in on Zack Snyder. But let's be absolutely clear. The moment Snyder was cooking, and he was absolutely cooking, he baked his food perfectly with 300 and Watchmen. But the moment he really raised the stakes in his career was the Snyderverse. MOS, BVS, Zack Snyder's Justice League. They are some of the best, if not the best, comic book movies ever fucking made. And only in this banter fucking fandom era, people, right, like Blu-ray Angel talking shit, you should like all comic book movies. Why? Why should I have to like something just because it's a comic book movie? If it's shit, if it's not to my taste, Blu-ray Angel, why should I like it? And who are you to tell me what I should like or fucking like? You're dealing with the fucking Don now, mate, right? The Don of content creators. No, I'm not the most popular. My camera's cheap. My sound is cheap. But you can absolutely understand very clearly what the Don is fucking saying. And the Don is fed up of creative fucking bankruptcy. He's fed up of parody fucking filmmakers like James Gunn. I'm fed up. I'm done with this new shit. And I ain't gonna fucking watch it. I promised you guys I'd go to the cinema and watch Superman back to back. But I got to see an early screening for free. No way was I paying to watch that fucking parody movie again! Again! A flying sequence when Superman's nose is fucking out there. Normally, women used to check out his trunks to see what he was packing in the old movies. Now we couldn't even see what's in his trunks because his nose is in the way. And I'm not having a go at David for having a long nose. But if someone's got a longish nose, you don't fucking shoot Superman at that angle, right? Parody era of entertainment, parody director, parody fucking movie. Superman is the bestest ever! No, it's not. It's shit. Superman is a shit movie. Man of Steel is a work of fucking art. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is a work of art. And let's just hear it. A belated happy birthday for one of the best versions of Batman ever. Not to say it's the best, but one of my favourite Ben Affleck. Happy birthday, Ben Affleck. You've been through a lot. You're a geezer. Make the fucking Batfleck movie. We got done dirty again, didn't we? We were going to have fucking Deathstroke. He was probably going to murder Alfred. It was going to be compelling. It was set up in the Snyder Cut. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Reeves did a good job with the Batman movie. I think Reeves is mostly a good guy. I don't have an issue with Matt Reeves. But what happened there was wrong. Wrong. It's not that Ben didn't want to make that Batman movie. It's because they weren't going to fucking let him. Even his best friend said to him, if you make that movie, you're going to end up in Alcoholics Anonymous again, right? Or something along those lines. Because they weren't going to let him make it. All they care about is following the shitty, crappy MCU formula. Bright colours and bad gags. Believe you me, even at its peak, the MCU was nowhere near the quality of those three Snyder movies, or Nolan's movies, or Donner's movie, or Smallville, or any of the great DC stuff. Aquaman. I'll repeat myself again. They drove out James Wan out of that company. One of their best creatives. He's been there since he got promoted from film school. He was doing all the horror shit beautifully. Do you realise what a hard job it was to make Aquaman? Groundbreaking visuals. It was a great script. And shockingly, Jason Momoa was actually a great Aquaman. And they fucked it up. And the sequel was going to be a Wrath of Khan movie. They fucked it up because Gunn interfered with that movie, pissed Wan off, and drove him out the company. So instead of having James Wan being the co-CEO of DC Studios, a competent, fantastic director, we've got James Gunn. DC fans can never keep anything good. We can't. We can never keep anything good. And I am sick to fucking death of it. I'm sick of Blu-ray Angel. I'm sick of all these shills. You're not real fans. You're not. You're just here to make money out of movie and entertainment discussions. You fucking know nothing about the art form of film, television, acting, directing. My father worked for a studio. I went to work with him every weekend. I know. I get it. I love this shit. But I don't love this modern day shit. And to me, you know, even though Superman's not really going to make a big profit, I'm still shocked to my core that 600 million value of the global audience went to see this fucking parody movie. Because that's exactly what we're dealing with here. A parody era of entertainment, where James Gunn is viewed in the same breath as Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola, right? Of the Godfather fame, right? When Scorsese did his New York op-ed piece, we had parody fucking directors saying, well, I respect the hell out of Martin Scorsese, but I don't agree. Of course you don't. Because you're part of the parody fucking era of CBMs of modern day Hollywood, right? Yeah? Of course you're not going to fucking agree with a great. But we know it's true. I mean, I fucking love Scorsese for doing that op-ed. I love it. It was total fucking facts. And from that op-ed piece, the MCU really didn't make much money ever again. So, fucking hilarious. It was fucking hilarious and full of facts. And this is what WB wanted to do. Wanted to copy and paste the MCU formula. Well done. Well done, Mr. Zaslav. What's it like? Are you happy? You finally got an MCU DC movie. Oh, sorry. From the moment Snyder went, after Aquaman, the whole of the DCEU became that fucking parody, bright colours and bad gags. How did that work out for you? You swapped beautifully, compelling, stunning looking works of fucking art for bright colours and bad gags. How did that fucking work out for you? No one's ever gonna remember this Superman movie, and I'll say it again. Only in this parody era of fucking social media fandom will you get people mocking what Zack Snyder did. If the Snyderverse was in the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s, he would have been fucking lauded as a great director, as an artist, because that's what Snyder is. I turn on a Nerdrotic video or a Jeremy Prime Geeks and Gamers video, and all I hear is, well, Snyder sucks. His movies suck. No, they don't. No, they don't. You know fucking nothing about movies. I follow you, you amuse me. All you care is about Donald Trump and saying woke, 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 woke. I say that word sometimes, but talk about overusing it. Woke, 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 woke. Where were you when you were watching Superman? Apparently that movie's not woke. There's no bigger piece of woke shit than Superman. But because you're all bent out of shape with Disney because they fired Gina Carano, because they're very far left. I don't like Disney either, by the way, but I hated Disney when everyone was lauding them for peak fucking MCU. Now that's trash. Not what Zack Snyder was doing. The Snyderverse was a great alternative to the MCU. I could live with the MCU. I liked early MCU. But let's not pretend it's great artistic fucking filmmaking. It's movies for the masses. And the Snyderverse wasn't movies for the masses. It was telling a story through a certain haze. It shouldn't have been competing with the MCU. They weren't that type of movies. And that's down to WB and nobody fucking else. But Snyder's movies, Snyder's DC movies, absolute quality. And basically, the reason we're getting a DCU and Gunn's Superman movie and that Supergirl movie, and whatever shitty follow-up Gunn's making, if he really is making a follow-up to that movie, are the consequences of Snyder making beautiful works of art. Because we're not allowed to have good things in the DC fandom, are we? We have to have films, forgettable films. Who's going to remember James Gunn's Superman in 3 months, in 6 months, in a fucking year? Fucking no one. No one. And we're stuck in this creative bankruptcy era while you've got idiots jumping up and down going, James Gunn is the bestest ever. The MCU used to be the bestest ever. Pieces of crap, forgettable crap. Who's going to remember the MCU in 20 years' time? Fucking no one. So we swapped works of art because you could have had the MCU and the Snyderverse could have been a beautiful alternative. The Snyderverse, god damn it, was a beautiful alternative. It was there, it was making solid money. Not everything has to make a fucking $1 billion. Sometimes you put forward your art form, like they used to do in old Hollywood. Not everything had to make money. The Wizard of Oz was a fucking flop. Is there anyone who loves old cinema who doesn't love The Wizard of Oz? Explain it to me. Someone explain to me what happened here. We've got people on the internet saying Snyder sucks, his movies suck, he's a bad director. No, he's not. No, he's not a bad director. These are parody fucking fans in a parody fucking era. They should all have fucking clown masks on when they say Snyder sucks. So I don't care that Nerdrotic has got over 1 million subscribers and however many subscribers Jeremy Prime on Geeks and Gamers has. I don't care that Snyder upset your little feelings because he wouldn't go on your platform. I couldn't give a shit. You don't understand filmmaking, and just because Snyder's Superman movie, his Batman movie, wasn't Superman 78 or Batman 89 or whatever fucking tickles you under the fucking balls, it don't make him a bad director. It doesn't mean he sucks. Even Rian Johnson isn't a bad director. I've said it before. Rian Johnson should have been allowed to do his own trilogy outside of the Skywalker saga, and you would have loved his shit. Rian Johnson isn't a bad filmmaker. But, and even, you can even say that The Last Jedi, isn't a bad movie on its own, but it isn't what J.J. Abrams set up. Why didn't J.J. Abrams finish his trilogy? None of that shit makes sense. But let's be absolutely clear. You are an embarrassment if you go around saying that Zack Snyder is a bad director.